Hello there. This is Safeguarding Watoto channel. Um, Thank you very much. Today we are coming to present tips for safeguarding our children. On previous videos, we'd said that we would bring this to families so that we may have an understanding of what is it that we need to do to support our children to ensure that they do not suffer harm. So welcome. Before we go, please do subscribe to our channel if you haven't. But the things that we really need to look at today is basically 6 aspects of what I call tips that would help every parent, regardless of whether you are the mother, the father, you are an older child, you are an auntie, you are an uncle, or even if you are somebody in the community. These are tips that would help you to identify um, if a child is indeed suffering significant harm or any harm to that matter. So, number 1 is relationship. It is absolutely critical for us to be able to relate with our children. This is so that we are able to understand who they are and we are able to know when they are going through difficult or tough times or situations. If you do not have that relationship with your child, how then are you going to be able to know? So this is for every parent, whether you're a mother or father or another sibling or an auntie or an uncle, a foster carer, an uncle or relative that is being given the responsibility of becoming a guardian to a child. Relationship with that child is critical, because once you relate with this child, the child is able to bond with you, and you will be able to know when they are happy. You'll be able to understand when they are anxious, when they are worried, when something is troubling them. Whether they, even if they are back from school or they're back from the park, they've been to the local shop, they've been to a place of worship, they've been to the marketplace, they've been out with their friends, you will be able to know. But if you do not have a relationship with them, it is going to be very difficult, because you won't know. You won't have the ability to know they are angry or they are worried, or why is it that they are crying. You would probably think that this is usual. This child always cries. So I think relationship is critical. If we are going to be able to safeguard our children, we must be able to relate with them. This way we will be able to help them. We'll be able to understand them. We'll be able to know them. It is going to be helpful for us, because then we are going to know this child does not look happy. Always when they come back from school, they're happy. After a visit to the park or after a visit to, their friends, you'll be able to know B is not always like this. X is always happy after a football game. So why is it that he doesn't want to come into the lounge? Why is it that he doesn't want to watch TV with the rest of us? Something is wrong. These are the instincts that come out of relationships. You'll be able to pick up things that, somebody that doesn't have a relationship with a child will not be able to pick up. So for every parent or every carer out there, relate with your child. Is going to be effective for you to safeguard them. Safeguarding tip number 2, awareness of safeguarding. This is critical because it's where parents or carers must have an understanding or awareness that safeguarding needs to be in place. So why am I saying this? Because sadly, the world is not that friendly. It can be very cruel. And unfortunately, boys and girls can and will be abused. For this reason, it is critical for parents to have that awareness that these things can happen. And this will trigger them to teach them about safeguarding themselves. So that is critical. So it is absolutely paramount for them to have that awareness. Safeguarding tip number 3 is about parenting. It is important for parents to understand that they need to teach their children about safeguarding. It is not the role or the parts of school, place of worship, community, or any other individual to teach your children about basic safeguarding. You as a parent have to do that. If they have to be taught about safeguarding somewhere else, it's a bonus. But make sure as a parent, you are taking your responsibility very seriously as a parent and teach them basic safeguardings. So what do I mean by this? I mean, you have to tell your children to know what it is that it is not right. For instance, it is okay at the correct time and age for you to start telling your children, do not allow anybody to touch you inappropriately. If somebody is asking you to send them pictures that are inappropriate, if somebody is telling you to do things that are not right, if somebody is bullying you, be it at school or in the park or anywhere, if somebody is forcing you to do things that are not right, you need to be able to report these things. You need to be able to teach your children to report these things. If they are in school, let them know that they can speak to their teachers. If there is a counselor at school, they can speak to them. If they are in a places of worship, they can go there and report to whosoever is, in charge of things like that, so that they can have somebody, a channel where they can go and report their concerns. But most importantly, again, because of point number 1, relationship, they should be able to come home and tell you as the parent that this is what is happening. Because you have already taught them to understand safeguardings, when things that are not right are done to them, or they're being forced or bullied, to do those things, they should be able to comfortably come home and tell you, Mom, Dad, my brother, auntie, uncle, foster mom, this is what is happening to me. That way, we will be able to safeguard our children because they will not suffer. Safeguarding tip number 4. This brings us close to homes where we live, whereby people need to understand about intra and or extra-familial abuse. This is more about sexual abuse and how it happens, and it is critical for parents or carers to understand that abuse will happen and can happen within the family and also outside the family. So intra-abuse or intrasexual abuse is the abuse that would happen within the family. So do not be naive and think that family do not abuse children. A lot of children have and will continue to be abused by people within the family. Actually, a greater number of this happens within the family. Uncles, aunties, brothers, cousins, nephews, including brothers and sisters. Familial abuse will also happen outside the family, whereby people that you quite close to, family, friends, and all that will happen. Oh, as we continue with these safeguarding tips, I would like to invite you to like this video, to share or put a comment down there. But most importantly, please do subscribe to our channel. And this leads us to safeguarding tip number 5. Both boys and girls can be abused, and perpetrators can be male or female. Boys and girls can be abused. They can suffer bullying, they can be intimidated, they can be subjected to similar abuse that girls can be subjected to. So parents, please do not be naive. Do not be thinking just because I have 3 boys as my children, I don't need to teach them anything because they are boys. No, you are wrong. Perpetrators out there will abuse boys the same as they will abuse girls. So we must be able to protect both boys and girls within the family. We must be able to teach them about what can happen to them regardless of who they are. Because like we say, perpetrators out there are just looking out to abuse children regardless of their gender. So let's not be naive, parents. Teach your children about what can happen to them. Safeguarding tip number 6, which is all about children with special needs. It is critical that parents and carers be aware that these children are more susceptible to abuse than children without needs because of their conditions. Therefore, it is important for us to know how we safeguard them, and we put more emphasis on them if it is in reference to understanding them, getting to know them, looking out of what is happening, because unfortunately, depending on what need they have, some may not be able to talk, some may not be able to express themselves very well, some may suffer different traumas because of what they've been threatened by perpetrators and all that. So it is critical we know if a child has got needs, any sort of needs, whether be it physical or it is mental, or as long as it is a special need, that child has got a need. Parents need to be aware that that child is more vulnerable to be abused by perpetrators than any other child, because any other child can report and they can say things that can lead to perpetrators being apprehended. But children with special needs may not have the ability to do that. So it's critical we understand that. I'd like to thank you for watching our video and invite you to comment, to share, to like this video, but also most importantly to subscribe to our channel. The next video that I'll be bringing in will also be about understanding safeguarding in different areas, whether it be at a school or in your child's club or in a place of worship and etc. So please do watch out and look out for that video that is coming very soon. In the meantime, let it be known, let it be told that safeguarding children and young people is everyone's responsibility. Thank you very much.